Hey, what's up, guys out there in internet land? PTDC, Online Training Academy. My name is Ren Jones. I'm going to be your host today. We've got a special topic for you today. It's near and dear to my heart because I love systems. And our good friend Jesse is here today to talk to us about systems that work. Because who wants to talk about systems that don't work, right? So I'm going to turn it over to Jesse in a second, but really quick, let me get this out of the way because we got some awesome stuff for you guys. If you're watching the live session, we want to give you guys a copy of the box set for Highly Wealthy Online Trainer. So the way you're going to get that is comment below, down there, comment below, and let us know where you're from, your city and state, country if necessary, and you'll be eligible to win. You'll see a pop-up come up in the comments in just a second. But without further ado, once again, my name is Ren Jones. I am an online personal trainer myself. I graduated from Online Training Academy back in 2017. I was in the first group of renegades. So we messed everything up back then so you guys can have a smooth process now. You're welcome. But I want to talk to our good friend, Jessie. She's here to tell us about systems. Jessie, do me a favor, my friend. Introduce yourself. Tell the people what you do, what your niche is, and sort of how you got into this business in general. Take it away, my friend.
Sure. Okay. Hi, everybody. My name's Jessie. My company name is Fitness by Jessie. And I've been a trainer at 24 Hour Fitness for, I think I'm in my sixth year there, but been training for almost 9 years. And I can hear my little girl right now. She just woke up from her nap. And so I didn't want to be taking her to a daycare. That just wasn't something that I wanted to do for my parenting or for our family. So online training was just a no-brainer. And I'm someone who kind of gets distracted by all these really shiny things. And that's actually something that the Online Training Academy textbook talks about, is not getting distracted. And so it was really nice to get pulled back down and grounded with instructions and to follow the systems that work. I looked through other companies that will train you to be an online trainer. But I think fitness is just you got to be consistent, and you've got to just be consistent. There's no magic pill. Everyone's trying to sell a magic pill, and I just don't train that way. And that's just not my fitness philosophy. And Online Training Academy did not give me a magic pill. It gave me systems that have been tried and true that work, just like what fitness science does for us. So that was such a secure, like, oh, that's what I can put money towards to earn money back. I love that.
So Jessie, tell us a little bit about what your market is. Do you have a specific group, the niche, as they say, that you work with? Tell us a little bit about that really quickly, and we'll get into the details of the systems. But tell us about your niche. Yeah,
I got excited about the systems.
that's right. We got to know about the systems, Jessie. We got to know about the systems. But tell us what your niche is and sort of how you got to that point, because I know that's important to the viewing audience. We're both in the same group. We're both in the online trainer group. We're both in PTDC. So we see these questions come in all the time about, I don't know what my niche is, right? I don't know who my audience is. Talk to us briefly about that, because I know that's going to add value for the folks that are watching.
Knowing what you like, and then the Online Training Academy helps you figure out what your niche is. And I'm good at training women, and I had a really good experience working out myself to become pregnant. I need to figure out a better way to say this, but I just think when you're trying to be healthy when you're pregnant as a woman, that's wonderful, but you've had all this prep time that has just passed you by. And now you don't feel good, and now you're tired, and now your partner smells bad, and you just want to eat spaghetti for breakfast. It's so weird, and it's such a huge ordeal. So if you get this prep time done before, if you get your body fat in a healthy place, that means not too high and not too low, and you're strong. I had the best pregnancy, and my daughter decided to be born early, and we didn't have any complications. It was the most magical thing that I could have asked for. So my niche is women who want to get healthy to have the best pregnancy possible.
Oh, that's amazing. You said something really, really key there. And this episode isn't about pre and postnatal training. That's not what it's about. But there's something very detailed in what you said about the range of body fat. And we're just going to touch on this briefly. We've only got so much time, but that's important for the expecting moms out there, for the for the folks that want to be moms out there. One thing that you said really specifically is you've got all this time leading up to a pregnancy. So there's opportunity there. But the other was the range of body fat, because we do see now these very lean first and second trimester moms, and we ooh and ah over it. But there is a range below which we compromise the systems that allow us to carry a healthy term. Is that not correct, Jessica?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Because there's so many women want to just lose more body fat, lose more body fat, lose more body fat. But if with a female gets too low, then she can't even conceive, and you're just miserable. I just think it sounds so miserable. So touching on that, I also like to help train my clients to figure out the food issue. Everyone's got a food thing. And so to make sure that we're not eating to cut calories forever. When you're pregnant, no, you need to eat to, maybe you have a really bad first trimester and you're throwing up a lot. So you just kind of are in survival mode. And then second trimester comes, maybe you're feeling better. That's the general rule of thumb. So make sure you're getting enough carbohydrates. And when I was pregnant, I just wanted bagels. Bagels and orange juice was just awesome. That just sounded like the best thing every meal of the day. But there's like no protein in bagels. So what I kind of figured out was I found a protein waffle recipe and pancakes. And that helped so much. And I got a lot of protein that way. So just a tiny little anecdote example.
Man, what a great segue, because it sounds like you developed some systems during your pregnancy.
Yes.
Easy segue for me, Jesse. You teed that up nicely for me.
We didn't even plan that.
We didn't even plan that, guys. We just got a mind meld going on. So in lieu of systems, let's talk about the overall quality of systems. And we asked you for information about your major takeaway from this whole process. And it's built about systems on a high level, on a 3,000-foot level. Can you just give us an overall, understanding of systems, and we'll get into your details, because you gave us a really detailed list of how those systems work. But on the high level, just give us a rough understanding of what you mean specifically by systems.
Of how I train my clients, or systems of how I run my business?
Just the systems of the business in general, and then we'll get into the detail. You gave us some very detailed bullet points, and we want to get into those. But just in general, your understanding of systems and how they work, and specifically how OTA sort of helped you, develop that systematic process, because that was a big deal for you when you went through the program.
Yeah. Well, in fitness, we systems. I like the word ritual better, because ritual has a repetitive and an emotional context with it. So in fitness, we have our rituals. You need to work out at this time on this day, whatever that means for you, wherever direction you're trying to go. And the business is very similar to that. It was nice to get organized and find a ritual of afternoon work while my daughter's asleep, and doing interviews like this, and checking up on the reading and things like that, getting things organized so that you can just get your systems down. That's a bad last sentence, but
it's all right. It's appropriate. So this is something that's interesting to me, the psychology, and I love the term ritual. I talk often to my clients about their sleep ritual, but this is something that I really want to know in regards to systems. Do you feel like generally you were sent to this planet as a systems-oriented person, or do you feel like anybody can learn to implement systems?
Oh, no. I'm a chaotic person, and I like doing things when I feel like doing them. So being shown how to apply yourself to the systems is really good. Like I have a really hard time sticking with a workout program. I find it so boring. I don't find it secure. I find it just so boring. So, but there's so much value in this, in following a system, in a workout plan, in the ritual. It's not glamorous, but it gets me where I want to go. So the system was just magical for me. Super.
Absolutely. You know, one of the overarching themes of this series of live sessions, which will eventually become podcasts, is sort of going on offense, right? Because a lot of times entrepreneurs, we position from a defensive perspective, the things that we aren't, the things that we don't have, the things that aren't included in a program, the things that an app won't do. But I love how, in spite of who you know yourself to be, generally, you went on offense. You used the fact that you know that you're not a systematic person to save yourself from that in an offensive mindset. What went into that decision for you? Like, how did you arrive at that point? Is it just self-realization, just self-awareness?
Yeah, I knew I do really well when I kind of have a list of stuff to do. And then if I have to do that list every day, but trial and error. I just knew I needed that. That was just a missing piece that I needed. Seek out it.
And that's important, guys. You know, we want you to get takeaways from this. And since Jesse and I are both, we're both involved in these groups. We're all in sort of these groups together. You know, we see a lot of concerns about who I am and what I'm capable of, or what I like to do and what I don't like to do. And the takeaway here, guys, is just get on offense. Stop playing so much defense. Get on offense. Reach out and handle those situations. In that context, Jesse, let's talk a little bit about streamlining your technology, because that's one of the key ingredients to your success. Give us a little insight there into streamlining technology and how it's benefited your business.
I do have personal training software that I learned really well, and I love back to systems. I love, with a new client, just making it super easy for them, just a very bullet point list, because that's what online training should be for your clients, you guys. It should just be really easy, and it looks so good as a professional business person to provide your service when it's like this. So I had a My PT Hub app, which I've been super pleased with the look and my logo, and the reoccurring. I've used Zoom. I used Gmail. It's just been a really flawless, nice system.
So, guys, here's another point, and Jesse, I'm so glad that you said this about making it easy for the client, because a professional is supposed to simplify your life, not complicate it. So think about that on the other side as being professionals, guys. Like, if you hired a plumber and he hooks up 16 special switches, on your sink, and he gives you a sheet of paper so that you follow the systematic process of hitting switch 6 first, 7 second, hit switch 10 the third, like that you just had a clogged sink.
My brain hurts just trying to follow what you're saying.
It's ridiculous. But we go down that road erroneously sometimes. Oftentimes, as trainers, guys, our clients aren't looking for us to impress them with our complexity. They're looking to simplify their lives, and that's such a great point. To your credit, Jesse. So one more thing, and we'll move on, because this happens also a lot in groups, and I know people out there want to know this. How did you decide between PT distinction, trainerize, et cetera, like, you see these debates going on in the groups often about, I just don't know which one to pick. I know my answer, and I've given it a lot of times in the group, but for you, how did you make that decision as to what was going to work best for you?
It was really easy for me to move around, and for me as the trainer, as the business person, to move around into my PT Hub. that was really important for it to be really user friendly for me. And then I tried it out as a client, and just, it was even easier. It was so simple and just quick, easy, good exercises. I was super pleased. It just looked very clean and very simple.
Now, did you, at any point, did you contemplate switching your platform? Or once you got it and you were working with it, were you like, whatever this does, I'm going to utilize it. Whatever it doesn't do, I'll compensate for it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's been very easy for me to put on exercises on YouTube and create my own exercise programs. The only thing is that I'm a U.S. American, not a very sciencey person, and it's based in the UK, Europe, UK. I'm not sure where, but it's on the metric system, and so that's it. That's all. But that'd be good. That's good for my brain anyway. And I
Yeah,
don't
absolutely.
have anybody. I've had no clients mention anything about it, so it's not been an issue.
And we need a challenge every once in a while.
Right. Yeah.
So another part of your system that's really, really important, and I like the way you phrased this when we asked you about it, is about your market. And you're telling people there's no need to panic. Your market's there. That's part of your system. Help us understand that phrase. How do we define our market? If it's there, where is there? Just talk to us a little bit about that, because I know this is a stress point for a lot of folks that are investigating switching into online training.
Yeah, I think we all start to feel like we have to compete with all these wonderful athletic Instagram fitness models. And that's great that people can make money being fitness Instagram models. That's fabulous. That's so cool. And that's their market. And you have your own market. If you've been keeping up social media and you have your own friends, and the last chapter of the textbook of the Online Training Academy really helps you figure out all the opportunities that you've come across over years. Like, it's kind of overwhelmed, like, holy cow. And there's some painstaking work, but it's not hard work. But you have to kind of just do some work if you're going to get something substantial and worthwhile doing. No magic pill, once again. So it's work, but it's not rocket science. It's you can see it in front of you, which has been really nice.
Yeah, absolutely. And our viewers are very savvy. Give us a little detail. Let's dive into this a little bit more. Give us just one tidbit of a process that can be utilized for understanding, gaining, interacting with that market that's already there. Give us one of your tidbits, an actionable step that these guys can take away from today and they can implement it easily.
Oh, I loved personally emailing every single person's email that you've ever had in your entire life to see. And it's not, hey, I'm a trainer, want to give me money at all. It's, hey, how are you doing? I found your email, and you're just talking, you're just communicating, because that you can be pushy, but I'm not pushy. If someone wants to get training from me, they're going to find me, and they're going to remember that I'm an online personal trainer for women who are getting ready to get pregnant and get the best pregnancy possible. And everybody knows a woman, and probably those people know women who are pregnant or want to be pregnant, or that area. Everyone knows somebody. So if it's not the exact person that you're emailing, they might know someone.
So what you're saying, if I'm understanding correctly, and I love to summarize, it's what we do as coaches. When we get feedback from clients, we want to summarize and make sure we're understanding it. Mm-hmm. You're saying, regardless of your personality, regardless of you being a salesy person or not being a salesy person, being fairly assertive and or aggressive, or not being assertive or aggressive, if you have a process that you can follow, you can take all of the emotion, you can take your own your own things that you may consider shortcomings, you can take those out of the process and just use the system and allow the system to dictate the result. Is that more so where you're coming from?
Yeah, totally. Good summary.
Yeah, guys, a lot of times we get into our own deep personal angst about who we are and what tools we have. Something like the OTA, the Online Training Academy, and even if it's not that, just having conversation with another trainer, asking questions in the group. There's so many great methodologies that you can implement today, and you don't need a Facebook ad budget, and you don't need a virtual assistant, you don't need all these fancy things. All you need to do is, for lack of a better term, and I know it's not a verb, but all you have to do is people.
Mm-hmm.
Going around peopling
Yeah.
is a great asset to your business, because you're going to resonate with somebody, and that somebody knows somebody else that you're going to resonate with, which is what Jesse just explained so beautifully and simply. Another segue, because one of the overarching themes of becoming an online trainer, specifically with John's input, 1K trainer, all of that stuff, Ignite the Fire, is how would this look if it were easy, right? So, Jesse, that was one of your points, in the context of your sales systems. Tell us what that meant to you and how you implemented that question into your business.
Well, it meant that I could do it. How would it look if it were easy? If we were bringing it back to my day and my schedule and what my goals were, that just made it extremely easy and doable. Like, I can do this. And then I figured out times in my day after training one-on-one in the gym, time with my daughter, time to clean, time to make amazing food. I just scheduled everything that I needed to. And it made, and my favorite little thing that I've benefited from is made my time on social media very, very fruitful. People say, oh, I just mindlessly scroll through it's like, oh, I have not done that in months and months. I have not done that. Having a purpose in social media has been, it's just taken a weight off my shoulders. It's been so nice. It's been really fun.
Absolutely. So again, and I want to dive into that answer a little bit more and really get some juice out of it. So, in terms of it being easy for you, when you thought about how it would look, it was easy. It sounds like one of the first things that you did was another thing that we talk about a lot in OTA. The first thing you did was find where your time was. You had to time block. Mm-hmm. For folks that aren't really familiar with time blocking and just sort of do things as they come to them, give us a little insight as to what time blocking is and how you handled it personally, down to any software that you may use to assist you with that. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Sure. Well, when I like to get a lot of online training work done while my daughter's sleeping. Because the sun's out. I'm not a night person, so it doesn't make sense to do stuff at night for me because I just get stressed out and everything's a mess. If I work while the sun's up, I use scheduling software to schedule out my social media posts. I have a lot of time where I go into my Facebook groups and I try and communicate with maybe 5 people a day. And sometimes I can do it every day and sometimes I can't. So my goal is to get at least 4 days a week doing that. And I don't do it all the time because I have a little girl and I teach classes at night and my life is just chaotic. And so it's just like jumping rope, just trying to jump rope and do that. I've liked my PT Hub. I use my Fitness Pal. Did that answer your question?
It does,
okay.
Because there's sort of concept, vision level things, in the context of how this would look if it was easy, and then we sort of dive in to the mechanics, if you will, of that, the actual execution. And I think that sometimes online trainers, particularly new online trainers, it's really easy to get bogged down in what's the execution going to be. How do I use these tools so that I can execute? And I know a lot of the folks out there, when they hear something like time blocking or scheduling, they want to know, well, what app do you use for scheduling? Is it an app? Is it a website? And those details are so important for them to know how to do that. So do you typically use like your calendar on your phone to set out your time of day, when things are going to happen? Do you use something like Calendly or Acuity scheduling, or do you just, or is it just a simple board attached to the front of your refrigerator?
I have Acuity. I love my my Google Calendar. I have shared calendars, and this is such a stupid one that kind of, I'm sure it has something. Someone will get a good.
Let it out, Jesse. Let it out.
But I have learned to just put a timer on the oven and clean the house for 20 minutes, instead of feeling like I need to clean the house and I need to send this out and I need to contact my client. I just everything just gets 100% attention, because it's already, our lives are so multitask oriented. So to get down and focus, that has so changed my life. It's just putting a timer on the oven to clean my house really quick and be done. And I don't have to do it anymore, and I can focus on other things.
That's such a beautiful thing, though. And it rolls right into what your next point was when we contacted you, that, guys, you don't have too much to do. You just don't have too much to do. It may be disorganized. You may have too much to remember to do. You may have too much to do that's not scheduled, but tell us what that means to you. I love the oven thing, by the way. I love that, because it tracks right back to how would this look if it were easy?
Yes.
If you set the oven and that's your ritual for that thing, and you get it done, and you're only concentrating on that, because psychology tells us the true functioning parts of the brain do not multitask. That's a myth, guys. If you're doing two things, you're doing two things badly. Nobody, I don't care how organized you feel you are, your brain does not physically multitask. But talk to us about not being too busy, about how you don't have too much to do. Give us some information and insight about that, because I'm really interested in this one.
I love, on my website, I say we all have 24 hours in a day. Ren does, I do, Beyonce does. We all have 24 hours in a day, and it just depends on what you're going to do in them. So we all have to go to work, and we all have to get things organized. We all have to fit in our workouts. And this is where the systems and rituals come back into this, is just, they will keep you free. The systems keep you free.
That's 100% accurate. When I was in a sales organization, I was an insurance executive for many years before I got into training in general. And one thing that we used to say constantly is, we don't manage people, we manage systems, because you can't manage people. Yeah. You can't get people to do what you want to. And this is a great lesson for you guys dealing with your clients out there. You're not going to manage their behaviors ever. You're just not going to. You can give them systems to which they can adhere to, and you can manage those systems. It seems like Jesse's become masterful at managing systems. I'm going to try the oven timer thing. You guys can't see on the other side of the camera, but the countertop I'm on is a mess. I could use a 20-minute oven timer right now, Jesse. I really could. Bless you for that. Let's roll right into sort of your last point, and that's the importance of setting those priorities. That this is one of your major systems. Talk to us a little bit about that, Jesse, about prioritizing and how that's important for the context of your business.
It helps me still love my business. If I can make sure that my daughter is getting what she needs, and my marriage is getting what it needs, and my own personal time is getting what it needs. If everything is as harmonized, I don't like the word balance, because that's if everything's harmonized in the best way possible, good enough, then everything can soar and fly and do well. And keeping your online training easy helps you do that.
Absolutely. The systems save us, guys. I'm a systems person, but you don't have to be to employ systems. Um, Systems take a lot of the angst out of your life. Seriously, when you've got something to fall back on besides how you feel at the time. Feeling is not the way, doing is. Jesse, you've enlightened us with your processes, your systems. It all makes so much sense. We sincerely appreciate you sharing all of this information with us. And guys, and I said this on the last live the other day, but as Bruce Lee said, knowledge is not enough. We must apply. So you get all this great insight from somebody like Jesse, who's been doing it for years, nearly a decade at this point. Jesse, is that correct?
Of personal training.
Of personal training, and how long in online training at this point?
I graduated a few months ago from the academy, but I've been almost a year. It's
almost a year.
Yeah.
So graduated a few months ago, came out of the door, like a car on fire.
Oh, I had to put my studying on hold because I had online clients to work with.
I love it.
It took me a long time to graduate because I just had clients.
I love it. Guys, implement. So last thing, Jesse, well, I'm a little bit over time, but it was certainly worth it for the insight. I'm going to put you on the spot here because I know how people enjoy that in front of a live audience of about 300,000 or so. You're welcome. I'm from the South. I'm in the Southern U.S. I'm in North Carolina. The city that I'm from is Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and it's the home of a brand of hot sauce called Texas Pete. Why Texas Pete originates in North Carolina, I have no idea. You have to take that up with either Texas or Pete. But I have something that I call the hot sauce. Just a big juicy nugget. Just pour a little sauce on this whole thing. Give us one overall takeaway, one nugget of your choosing, anything that you want to share with us right now. I'll give you 10 good seconds, put you on the spot, and you run with it when you're ready to share.
Ooh, okay. Online training has set me free. I knew I couldn't be a full-time stay-at-home mom. I would get too many fights with my child if I did that. And I sure love being able to help people. I've had clients in different states. I don't think I have had one client in my home state, in the same city, but that's it. I'm able to help people who wouldn't otherwise be able to train with me. And it's been so much fun. It's been so much fun. And it's made it possible. I've had some crazy miscarriage drama in the last 6 months. Miscarriages typically last 6 weeks. I've had a 6-month-long miscarriage, and I've had to cancel clients, no show, blah, 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 but not with my online training, not with my online. It's been so rewarding. I've been so grateful for that.
Man, that is definitely the hot sauce. Thank you for that. Hold on. Let me
Yeah.
get another little drink. My eyes are starting to water, Jesse, from the sauce. Hey, thanks so much, Jesse. Where can the people find you? We need to know how we can contact you. How can we get in touch with you?
Fitnessbyjessi.com, Jessi. It's my face is on the website. You can't miss it. You can hit me up there. You can find me on Facebook. I want to make it really easy for you to find me. If you want to email me directly, it's Jessi@fitnessbyjessi.com, Jessi. I'd love to hear from you.
I love it. I love it, Jesse. Hey, thanks again so much, Jesse. I appreciate all the valuable insight that you provided to us today. Amazing. I'm going to be implementing a few things myself that I've heard today. For you guys out there in internet land, if you're coming back and you caught this replay, thanks so much for coming back to watch. We appreciate it. We hope that we're adding value to your lives in an implementable way, guys, because you got to get in. You're going to mess some things up. You got to get in there and give it a shot. You're not going to figure it all out on this side of action. You're never going to figure it out. If you're listening to the podcast, because we're going to bounce this down to a podcast, Thank you for listening to or downloading the podcast. Once again, Jesse, great time talking to you. PTDC, OTA. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. We've got another live session lined up for you, and we'll see you guys then, okay? Thanks so much.
Love to have you, my friends. See ya.